Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. Triangle JKL has vertices J, -2, -3, K, -2, 3, and L, 6, -3. The perimeter of the triangle JKL is 24 units. What is the length in units of KL? So I propose that we plot these points so we can look at the triangle on the coordinate plane to help wrap our brains around what we need to do. So let's plot J first. We're going to go left 2 and then down 3. Put a J. For K, we'll go left 2 and up 3. And put a K. And for L, we'll go over 6, down 3. L. And then let's connect our points. All right. So they give us the perimeter. And the formula for perimeter of a triangle is perimeter equals side plus side plus side. And we know that the perimeter is 24 because it says the perimeter of the triangle is 24. So let's substitute that in underneath the P. Now that means that the three sides are going to add up to be 24, and we can figure out the length of this side. We can figure out the length of this side, but this doesn't land on the grid lines, so we'll have to use algebra to figure out the length of this side, which is what they want, right? That's what they're asking for. So let's calculate the distance between points K and J. Now there are two ways to do that. One way is to count how many actual units just by simple counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So another way to get 6, let's put the 6 on the coordinate plane so we can see it, is if we look at the points themselves. So we were looking at J and we were looking at K. And you look at the ordered pairs that differ from each other. So see how the X's are the same? The Y's differ from each other. When the points are in different quadrants, the rule is to add the absolute value of the coordinates that differ from each other, and that would give you the distance. So if you were to add the absolute value of a -3, so what would that look like? You would do absolute value of a -3 plus the absolute value of 3, which would be 3 plus 3, which would give you 6. So the length of that line is 6. So this is a way, if you had to show work, this is what they would expect you to put in the workspace to show the distance between those 2 points. Now what about between point J and L? So again, we could count the number of units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or we could look at the ordered pairs for points J and L. So let's look at J, let's look at L. Here's J, here's L. The coordinates that are the same are the Y's, so we would want to look at the X's. We're looking at a 6 and we're looking at a -2. They're in different quadrants. The rule is when your points are in different quadrants, you add the absolute value of these two things. So the absolute value of a -2 would be 2. The absolute value of 6 would be 6. 2 plus 6 would give us the 8. All right, so let's substitute those numbers in. We know one of the sides is 6 and we know the other side is 8. And we're trying to figure out that last side. This side right here is the one we don't know. We're trying to get the length of this red line. So let's put a variable s. All right, so next we'll simplify by adding these two things together. This plus this would give us 14. 24 is going to equal 14 plus some number. All right, to solve this algebraic problem, we have to ask ourselves what's happening to the variable. We're adding 14 to it. What's the opposite of that? It would be to subtract 14, and we would have to do that to both sides of the equation to keep it balanced. All right, so this would all cancel out. We would go ahead and subtract these two things, which you're going to do on your own, and then we'll bring down the s. So quite simply, what's the answer? The answer is whatever the difference is between 24 and 14, and that will be the length, and that will be, put the number here and write the word units.